In that rectifier, you might have studied the single phase as well as three phase rectifier and their controlling technique. So some of this content of the previous chapter might be similar to your BTech course. So this is maybe a new concept to you, or some of might be worked in your BTech project in this multi-level inverter. So this is our second chapter, multi-level inverter. So what are the things that we are going to study in this chapter that we first see. So these are the content of this chapter. Okay, so what we have to learn as three-phase two-level voltage source inverter. So you have already studied this in your BTech course. Okay, where there is a 120 degree, 180 degree. Okay, so that kind of operations, how the waveforms are produced are there, what are the switching sequence, then what are the mode of operations, how the waveforms are produced. Okay, and there are different PWM techniques are also there. Okay, and these PWM techniques helps us to produce the pulses, and these pulses we are giving to the switches, and we are operating the switches, and we are producing the output. Okay, so this is the basic part. And the third point, it is multi-level voltage source inverter. In that point, we'll study what is the concept of the multi-level voltage source inverter, and what is the need. Okay, and what is the difference between the conventional inverter and the multi-level inverter. Okay, and what are the different applications, what are the different types of the inverter, that all we are going to see in this third point. Okay, in the fourth point, there are basic three types of multi-level inverter. It is diode clamp multi-level inverter, applying capacitor multi-level inverter, cascading multi-level inverter. Then we'll see what are the applications of the multi-level inverter. Okay, uh, where these multi-level inverters are used, and then we'll compare the multi-level inverter, okay, based on their different topologies. Okay, so topology means different types. So these are the different types. Okay, so in comparison, to compare, what we'll do, we'll understand which is the best inverter, multi-level inverter amongst all these three types, and there are other types are also. Okay, but basic there are three types. Okay, the latter remaining types are the development in these basic types only. Okay, then we'll see after this comparison the control methods for the multi-level inverter. Okay, so analyzing multi-level inverter. So what are the different carriers, that is high frequency signals will use. Okay, and we'll do the pulse width modulation there, and we'll use that created pulse, or the output of this PWM will use to drive the different switches in the multi-level inverter. Okay, so this is the total content of this chapter. Okay, so today we'll see very basic and the concept which you have already studied. Okay, and through after learning this, um, we'll understand uh, why we uh, not go for this conventional inverter, and why we use the multi-level inverter. Hello, screen content दिसतोय का सगळ्यांना?
No, sir. Only first slide is visible.
Yes. will share the entire screen. Okay, so I will repeat for you again. Okay, so these are the contents. Coming that content first, I hope now it is visible. So it will issue, you can just unmute and you can talk. Okay, so here in three-phase two-level voltage source inverter, various PWM methods are there. Okay, so these are sinusoidal pulses modulation, phase vector modulation. So these are the methods that we will see in this. After this, multi-level voltage source inverter, we will compare this with the conventional inverter, or it can be called as a two-level inverter based on the voltage and current, based on the nature of the output voltage and nature of the output current. We compare it and we'll understand here what is the need of the multi-level inverter. Okay. And how this inverter helps us to produce better output as compared to this two-level inverter. And what is the thing that we are doing in this multi-level inverter so that output can be better. Okay, so based on the construction of the multi-level inverter, there are three types. Okay, diode clamp, flying capacitor, cascaded multi-level inverter. Okay, so we'll study this topology, the circuit diagram, their waveform. Okay, we'll understand how to produce the multi-level output. Then applications of the multi-level inverter, where these multi-level inverters are used. Okay, so right now if you see, there are various applications in industry, in high voltage, high current application, and in grid connected systems. The multi-level inverters are widely used. So, we want so then we compare this multi-level inverter based on two parameters. Okay, based on the nature of the output voltage, the nature of the output current, the nature or the content of the harmonics in the output voltage and output current. We compare these three tests together and we come out with the best the multi-level inverter out of this. And what can be, if possible, we see what the remaining types of the remaining means there are some advancements taken place in these basic types, and they come up with the different uh, types as like hybrid multi-level inverter. Okay, so as they use this diode clamp flying capacitor together, okay, and they will come out with the hybrid type of a topology. So that is possible. We'll cover this also. And after this comparison, we see the control method. Okay, so that control method is very important here. Because through control method only we can produce the controlled output or the required output as per our needs or as per the application. Okay, so this is the total content of this chapter. Okay, so these are the points included in your syllabus. So we will see all these points. So today we will see only these uh, basics. Okay, and we'll understand why multi-level. Okay, so two-level inverter. Okay, so in two-level inverter, if you see, so this is the circuit diagram. Mm, you might be familiar with this. Okay, so I have not included here three single phase. I will directly taken here a three phase. Okay, so in power electronics third year you have already studied this. Okay, so here there is a XCR. Okay, so in three phase um, inverter, we combine three single phase inverter. Okay, so one single phase for every phase. So you can assume this as a phase, then this is B phase, then this is C phase, or R phase, Y phase, D phase. Okay, this is the construction. Okay, so switches we can use any. So we know there are different types of switches. We can use the transistors also here. Uh, okay, so our study was based on the SPR type because SPR was new to you in our power system syllabus in the BTech. Okay, so we have studied the entire power electronics through SPR. But instead of SPR, we can use here the transistors also. We can use here IGBTs also. We can use the MOSFETs also. Okay, so any switch. we can use. So depending on the rating, depending on the our requirement at the output time. Okay, so because every switch has its own pros and cons. So based on our requirement, we have to choose. Okay, so how we have to choose? So we have the data sheets of these components. Okay, so in that data sheet, all the parameters are listed there, including voltage, current, temperature, then its power dissipation capacity. Okay, what is the amount of power it dissipates? What are the different and what are the losses? Different losses take place there, and critical voltage, and that all these different parameters are there. So based on this, we have to choose. So here, so this is the three-phase two-level inverter. Okay, so you will see for single phase we are using the Q6. Okay, and here we are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Okay, so this is for one phase. These two switches are one for one phase. These two switches Q3, Q6 is for one phase. Q5, Q2 is for one phase. Okay, and there are the diodes are also there, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6. So six diodes are we are using here. That is also, you also know the significance of this circuit. Okay, so whenever there is a reactive load into the, at the load end, okay, so whatever is the energy, it is stored in that reactive element to discharge or to discharge those reactive elements. We use this freewheeling diode. Through that freewheeling diode, that energy is released. Okay, and whatever is the energy stored in the load, that is released, or that elements are discharged with this diode cell. Okay, which is also essential into the circuitry. Okay, and actually this is only the fundamental circuitry. If we see the practical sorry, if we see the practical inverter framework. Okay, if you see some hardware of the multi-level inverter or any two-level inverter, so you see there are other than these six switches and these six diodes, a lot of additional circuitry is there. So what is the significance? Because significance of this additional circuitry, the significance is that they have included the different protection schemes such as over voltage, over current, then maximum protection against the heating. Okay, they use a big heat sinks there. Okay, so you will see that here in this fundamental diagram, there is no any protection circuitry is shown here. It is the this, this is the diagram only to understand the two level inverter. Okay, so here we have this diagram is shown with this uh, MOSFETs. Okay, or we can also use the transistors. Okay, so here if you see uh, this T1, T4, T3, T6, T5, and T2. So these six switches are we are using. Okay, and here you know here there is one additional terminal, okay, which we called as a gate terminal, and through that gate terminal we are um, applying the pulses. Okay, and applying pulses we are turning on and turning off this particular switch. So here if you see in this uh, so if you see here there is one understanding. Okay, so these were this T1 and T4, this together is called as a one line. Okay, T1 T4 is called as one line. Similarly, this T3 T4 is T3 and T6 is another line, second line, and T5 T2, this is the third line. Okay, so no, so we are switching these switches or this SCRs or this if we are using MOSFET IGBT, we are switching this in this way so that this T1 and this T4 cannot be turned on simultaneously. Okay, why? Because if these two switches are turned on simultaneously, it creates a short circuited cell, which is not allowed. Okay, we cannot get the desired output at this loading. Okay, so in two level inverter, never two switches from the same leg are turned on simultaneously. Okay, so one switch from first leg and other remaining switches from the other. Okay, so no two switches from the same leg turned on simultaneously. Neither two switches uh, from the same leg turned off simultaneously. Okay, so turning off is also not there. One of the switch from these two is always turned on. Okay, so we have to switch these switches in such a way that we should get here uh, the two level output. Okay, so two level output means here if you see this is the voltage which we take here with respect to time. Okay, so two level output means this is one level. Okay, suppose this is the VDC level, because we have, or VS is our source. Okay, this is one level, and the remaining level is a zero level. Okay, and then this we have to repeat in the negative side. Okay, in this way, this is called as a two level. So why two level? VDC level and zero level. So the levels are counted always in this way based on the magnitudes of the output voltages. So here one magnitude is Vs, okay, and remaining magnitude is zero here. Okay, so you might have a question. In negative also we have the magnitude, but that magnitude is same as that of this magnitude is in the positive direction. Okay. So we have to consider the magnitude only either on the positive side or on the negative side to count the number of levels. Because we know in inverter the basic operation is DC to AC. Okay, so we have a DC source here and we are producing the AC output. So in AC, we know AC is always symmetric in nature. So to get a symmetry at the output end, we have to produce the same output in the negative side, which is same as that of this positive side of this waveform. Okay, so here we'll see how to this produce this output. Okay, so you already know this. Still, we'll revise this again. Okay, so here there is a mode of operation. Okay, so in mode of operation, if you see how this mode of operation is there, so total one cycle is of 360 degrees. Okay, so we know this. One cycle is of 360 degrees. So if you see this, okay, so if we take the 60 degrees interval, is 0 degree. Okay, then we'll take the next instance, which is here. Suppose this is a 60-degree instance. Okay, then here will after this 60. Okay, there is a 120-degree instance here. Then here will take the 180-degree instance here. Okay, then here will take that 240 degree. Then here will take that after 60 degree. Here it is 300, and here finally here it is 360 degree. Okay, so in AC we already know. Okay, so it is when we study the three-phase system. That three-phase system is always a symmetric system. Okay, there is a phase sequence of 120 degree between the two phases, any two phases. Okay, so similarly that we have to follow here. Okay, and in this um, circuitry, if you see, there is a phase difference of 120 degree, 180 degree between the two switches from the same lane. Okay, so in this three phase two level inverter, okay, there are two types of operation. One is the 180 degree mode and another is the 120 degree. So how this 180 and 120, this 120 and 180 is based on the conduction of the uh, switches. Okay, so for how much degrees the switches are turned on. So here in 180 degree, if we take 180 degree, so for 180 degree this T1 is turned on 180 degree. After T1, for remaining 180 degree, this T4 is turned on. Okay, so this is, can be, suppose this is the A phase, this is A phase. Okay, this is the B phase. So we know there is a phase shift of 120 degree between the two phases. Suppose this is A phase, B phase, B phase, this is C phase. Okay, so there is always 120 degree difference. Okay, so after A, 120 degree B will start. After B, 120 degree C will start. Or after 240 degree of A, that C will emerge. Okay, so in this way there. But there is a every switch. This T1 conduct will conduct for 180 degree. T4 conducts for 180 degree. T3 conducts for 180 degree. T6 also conducts for 180 degree. T5 conducts for 180 degree. T2 conducts for 180 degree. If we uh, apply a pulse in such a way that this switch is turned on for 180 degree. Okay, so here we'll see first that 180 degree how that output is produced here. Okay, so here what I will do, I will take the three sections here. This is for our understanding. Okay, this is already known to you. Okay, still I will repeat this to understand. Okay, I will take in this way here. Okay, so you just see initially we'll assume that T1 is on for how much degrees, for 180 degree. Okay, so for 0 to 180, for 0 to 180 degree means up to this instant. Okay, so during this we will just assume that T1 is turned on. Okay, after T1, the remaining switch from the same lane, okay, which is T4, that T4 is on. Okay, so that T4 is on here. Okay, from how much degrees? From 180 degrees to this 360 degrees. So for remaining 180 degrees, that T4 is on. Okay, after this you just see, now we come to the leg, second leg, which is B phase, or we can assume Y phase. Okay, so here we have taken B, so we'll assume the B here, B phase. So after A, 120 degree B will emerge. Okay, so after A, 120 degree means this is the instant. Okay, where this B phase will emerge. Okay, and in B phase, first switch is T3. Okay, first switch is T3. That T3 will conduct for how much time or how much degrees? We are referring this 180 degree mode. Okay, so in 180 degrees, T3 will conduct for how much degrees? It will conduct for 180 degrees. Okay, so from 120 we have to count the 180. Okay, so here if you see, here it is 60 degree. Okay, then here it is 60 degree, and here it is up to 300. Okay, so up to 60, 60, 120, and this 60 is again how much? Here it is 180 degree. So up to this, up to 300 degrees. Okay, so that T3 will conduct. Okay, up to 300 degree T3 will conduct. So you just see the remaining degrees. Okay, so from 300 to 360. Okay, so this is the 60 degrees of interval, and we have here additional in the first part from 0 to 120 degree. Okay, so during that mode the remaining switch from the same leg will conduct. Okay, so after 180 degree conduction of T3, T6 will conduct for 180 degree. So here we will take the T6. Here we will take the T6 up to 360 degree, 300 to 360. Here it is 60 plus from 0 to 120. Here it is also T6. Okay, so total this 120 plus this 60. So for 180 degree, the T6 will conduct. Okay, so after that we'll come to the third leg. In third leg, okay, after B, 120 degrees C phase will emerge. Okay, or after 240 degrees of A, this C phase will emerge. So if you see, after 240 degree of this is for A, this is for B, and we'll take last for C. Okay, so after A, 240 degree means this is the instant. Okay, and after B, so this is the instant of emerging of B phase. Okay, and after this 120 degree means here it is 240 degree. Okay, so from 240 to this 360. So total here this is the interval of 180 degree. So for this, the first switch from the third leg will conduct. Okay, so it is P5 here. It is P5. Okay, then you see from 240 to 360. Sorry, here it is from 240 to 360. Here it is 120 degree conduction. Okay, so remaining 60 degree here. Okay, after 360 degree again start from 0. So this 120 plus this 60 again here it is becomes 180 degree. For this 180 degree T5 degree. Then remaining switch from the same leg which is T2 here. Okay, so T2 from 60 to this 240. Okay, here it is total interval of 180 degree. So T2 will conduct it. So this is how the conduction of the switches takes place. So how it takes place? Because we are applying the pulses to the switches in such a way that every switch will conduct for 180 degree. Okay, so here if you see, this is T1, T4. T1 will conduct for 180, T4 will conduct 180 degree, T6, T3, T5, T2. All switches conduct for 180 degree. Okay, so now these mode of operations, okay, these mode of operations are shown here based on these switching operation. Okay, so if you see during the first 60 degree from 0 to this 360 degree, how many switches are on? Initially, first we write here from 0 to 60 degree, T1 is on, okay, T6 is on, T5 is on. Okay, this is from 0 to 60 degree. Okay, in second we just see, in second, that is from 60 to 120 degree. Okay, so you just see at this instant T5 is turned off permanently. So during this 60 to this 120, okay, T1 is on, T6 is on, T2 is on. Okay, so here T1, T6, T2 is on. Okay, then after 120 degree to 180 degree. Okay, you see this 1 20 to this 180. Okay, so at this instant of 180 degree, T6 is turned off permanently. Okay, so here from 120 to 180, you just see T1 is on, T3 is on, and T2 is on. Okay, so here T1, T3, and T2. These three switches are on. T1, T3, and T2. Okay, so we'll take the next instance from 180 degree to 240 degree. How many switches are on? You see from 180 to 240. Okay, so here if you just see at this instant of 180 degree, T1 is turned off permanently. Okay, so who will start after this? T4 will start. Okay, so here from 180 to 240 we have T4, we have T3, and we have T2. We will take these switches T4, T3, and T2. Okay, then fifth. Now here it is 240 to this 300 degree instant. Okay, so here if you just see during this instant T4 we have on, T3 is on, and here at this instant of 240 degree T2 is turned off permanently. Why? Because 180 degree conduction from 60 to 240 takes place. After this the next switch T5 will on. So here we have T4, T3, and T5. Okay, we have T4, T3, and T5. Okay, so these are the switches are on. Okay, so even though it is already known to you, okay, I am repeating this because maybe 2 years gap is there. Okay, uh, after this 300 degree to this 360 degree, now you tell me which switches are on 300 to 360. How many switches are on?
T4, T6, T5.
T4, T6, and T5. Thank you. So these switches are on from 300 to 360. Okay, so now what we have to do? So this is our switching sequence. Okay, this is our switching sequence. So for 0 to 60 degree, we have to turn on these three switches. From 60 to 120, we have to turn on these three switches. Out of these, two are same. We have to turn off one. We have to turn off another. Okay, so same thing. We have to repeat this. Okay, so why we are doing this? Why it is a necessary this combination? Because we have to produce the two level output. Okay, we have to produce the two level output. In MATLAB also we can simulate this, or we can write a code for this also. Okay, so this is the switching topology, or we can also call through this switching topology, this mode of operations are developed there. Okay, so here if you see, instead of showing the switches there directly, instead of directly showing this thyristors or the MOSFETs or any other switch, this is assumed as one switch, and here it is indicated. Okay, so if you see here, initially T1, T6, and T5 is on. Okay, so at the load end, so load can be anything. Okay, so now as far as this load, our system is three phase is concerned, so load can be connected here in star, or it can be connected in delta. Okay, so we have assumed here that load is connected in star type. Okay, where we get one neutral point. Okay, for safety, so that we can bypass the excessive current to the ground to this neutral point. Okay, if anything went wrong into the system. So here we have taken the star connected load at the uh, load end. Okay, so if you see, as per our switching sequence, it is indicated there. Okay, so if you see, initially T1, T6, T5 is on. Okay, so here first T1. So you just see here T4 switch is open. It means only T1 is on there. Okay, then T6. T6 is here. So if you see the switch of the T3 is open, it means only T6 is on. Then last switch is T5. So T5 means if you see in the last leg, the switch of T2 is open there. Okay, here switch of T2 is open there. Okay, so it means only T5 is on. Just a minute. Okay, so here T1 is on, then T6 is on, and here T5 is on. So based on this, we have framed this uh, mode of operation. Okay, so here there is a voltage drop will take place across this load. Okay, so we can use the voltage division rule to calculate this voltage drop. Okay, so as far as this is concerned, we can easily calculate. Okay, so you just see P1 is at the upper end, upper switch. Okay, we can call this as a okay. So for understanding what we'll do, this T1, T, T1, T3 and T5, this is called as the upper end switches. Okay, and this T4, T6 and T2, here we call this as a lower end switch. Okay, so initially our T1 is on, T6 is on and T5 is on. Okay, so T1 is at the upper end, T6 is at the lower end, T5 is again at the upper end. Okay, so two upper switches, upper end switches and one lower end switch is on. Okay, so here if you see here, it is shown there. Okay, so these are the switches are on. So based on this, some drop is takes place. Okay, and by using voltage division rule, the drop is calculated. So A phase with respect to the neutral, that is 0 point, the VA by 3 drop takes place there across the phase A. Then P with respect to neutral, VA by 3 drop again takes place. And the last phase, which is here B with respect to O. Okay, 2 VC by 3 drop is taken there. Okay, so how these drops are calculated based on the voltage division rule. Okay, it is very simple. From this we can calculate the voltage drop across the load. Okay, so here in this way the voltage drop takes place for the first second. Okay, now to understand this, what we have to do, we have to draw this mode of operation. Okay, then we will only understand. Okay, so you just initially see this is A phase. Okay, I will write here in this only. Okay, this is not it is a hazy, not a clearly visible. So I will write here VA, here it is C, and here it is B. Okay, so VAO, here what is our input? VS is input. Okay, our input is VS. So here Vs by 3 drop takes place, Va with respect to O. Vc with respect to O, here also Vs by 3 drop takes place. Then Vb with respect to O, here 2 Vs by 3 drop takes place. Okay, so how this calculated based on the voltage division rule. Okay, so what is the voltage division rule? Now you will just see here some impedance of this switch is calculated, which is Z. Z is indicated here. Okay, impedance of this switch is indicated, which is Z. So all the loads uh, in their respective phases is having a Z impedance. So if you want to calculate the drop across this, okay, by using voltage division rule, how to calculate? We have to consider the impedance of this. Okay, equivalent impedance. So here Z and Z. two are in parallel. Okay, so two are in parallel means their equivalent is Z by 2. Okay, into our total voltages was Vs. Okay, divided by, now this Z and Z is Z by 2 is in series with this Z. Okay, so here we can write this Z plus Z by 2. So if we solve this, we'll get Vs by 3. Okay, here. Now the same drop will exist across VCO. Okay, which is Vs by 3. And remaining part of this Vs will take place across VBO. Okay, so VBO is equal to minus VOB. So it is equal to minus 2 Vs by 3. Okay, so in this way we can write. Okay, similarly here in the second, you just see in the second, now this we have finished for this. Okay, we have finished for this. Now in the second interval from 60 to 120 degree, you just see this T1, T6, T2 is on. Okay, so here there is a mode of operation. So T1 is upper switch, T6 and T2 is at the lower switches. Okay, so you just see here, this is the upper switch, here it is a printing mistake, here we have to take A. Okay, A with respect to O, here it is B, here it is C. Okay, again the drop will be same, so here you just see VAO is equals to 2 Vs by 3 will take place, that drop. Okay, and across VBO which is equals to minus VOB. Okay, which is equals to minus which is equals to VCO, and that VCO means minus VOC. So that drop is minus Vs by 3. Okay, so that drop takes place. Okay, so what we are reversing this phase and neutral sequence. So based on this, the polarity of the magnitude is reversed. Okay, similarly here some drop takes place. Okay, and that drop we have to write this in this way again. So for we have finished for this. Now in the third mode, T1, T3, T2 is on. Okay, so in that case you just see here T1 is on, T2, T1, T2 both are from, sorry, T1 is here, T3 is on. Okay, so T3, T1, T3 is the upper end switches, two upper end switches and one lower end switches. So again we have to write for this. Okay, so after this, okay, now I am going directly to this. Okay, so once we plot this magnitude, we'll get this magnitude. Okay, so you just see first VAO is what? Vs by 3. Okay, so you just see from 0 to 60 degree, VAO is Vs by 3 and VCO is also Vs by 3. Second if you see in the same interval, that is 0 to 60 degree, VBO is minus 2 Vs by 3. Okay, so if we take VBO, it is 2 Vs by 3. Okay, but we are taking here VOB, which is minus 2 Vs by 3. So here you just see VBO, here it is minus 2 Vs by 3. Okay, so if we go for the next interval, okay, you just see VAO is 2 Vs by 3. So this magnitude is increased from this to this, 2 Vs by 3. Okay, so that switching is made in this way. Again, that magnitude is repeated in this way. Okay, so now these are the phase waveform. Okay, phase waveform is the phase with respect to the neutral. Okay, so in this way, for every phase we get this type of a waveform. Okay, so from this phase, if we go for the line waveform, okay, so here we get this type of a waveform. Now here VA with respect to B. Okay, VA with respect to B means here VAO minus VBO. Okay, so here Vs by 3, here formula is written. Okay, VAB is equals to VAO minus VBO. Now VKO, what is the magnitude here? Vs by 3. Okay. Then minus of this, what is VBO? Here it is minus 2 Vs by 3. So here it becomes minus minus plus 3 Vs by 3. So it becomes Vs for this interval. Okay. So for further interval also we have to write this. Okay. So here it is Vs by 3 from 60 to 120 degree, and here it is minus Vs by 3. So again it becomes Vs. Okay. And for next interval you will see here it is from 120 to 180 degree. Here it is Vs by 3. This is also Vs by 3. So Vs by 3 minus Vs by 3, it is 0. So in this way the output is produced. Okay, so same we have to repeat for the remaining lines. Okay, so VBC is another line, VCA is another line. Okay, or we can call this as a R line, we can call this as a Y line, this can called as a B line. Okay, so we'll get this type of output at the end of the inverter. Okay, so inverter output is always rectangular. Okay, inverter output is always we get in the rectangular type of pulse. Okay, so further after this, when we connect the filter circuit, through filter we get the pure sinusoidal waveform. Okay, now you just see here it is 60, 120, and here it is 180, 180 degree. Okay, so it is the 180 degree method. Then 240, 300, and 360. Okay, so here 240, 300, and here it is 360 degree. Okay, so here when we connect the filter, what happens? You just see this type of a waveform we get. Okay, we get this type of a AC waveform. Okay, so even though it is not looking as a perfect sine, we assume this as a perfect sine. Okay, so here we get this type of a waveform. Okay, once we connect the filter. So if you see, this is the part, this is the rectangular part, we get the output. Now this is the unwanted part. Okay, this is the unwanted part at the output end. Okay, so which we don't want in the system. Okay, so this is the unwanted part which creates the disturbance into the system. Okay, this unwanted part can also be called as a ripple. Okay, this the cause of this can also be called as a harmonic. Okay, so when we apply the L and C at the end of the inverter, we nullify this part and we only get this sinusoidal part. Okay, so this is how the two level output is produced. Okay, so two level means here it is first level Vs. Okay, remaining zero level. Same is repeated in the negative side. Okay, Vs minus Vs is here. Again here it is 0. Again plus Vs, again 0. So this is called as a two level output. Only two levels are produced. Maximum magnitude and minimum magnitude. That is Vs and 0. Okay. So this is the operation of the conventional inverter. Okay. In conventional inverter, we will get produced this type of waveform. In multi-level inverter, we have to chop this into the multiple levels so that we can get a perfect sinusoidal waveform. Okay, so this is the unwanted part which introduces the harmonics into the system, which can affect on the performance of the system. So that is the reason we have to. Now again, there is a mathematical formulation for this. Okay, we can use the Fourier series to find out the which harmonic components are present there, either third harmonic, fifth harmonic, okay, seventh harmonic. Okay, so that mathematical formulation is also there. Okay, so I will also tell you. Okay, but my concept of repeating this, or the purpose of including this into the beginning of this syllabus is that you have to understand this rectangular, some of the part of this rectangular pulse is unwanted, again, which we have to remove. Okay, which includes the harmonics into the system. Okay, and after this we have to produce the perfect sinusoidal waveform. Okay, that also we'll see when we see the multi-level inverter output. Okay, so there we will understand. So this is the concept. Okay, remaining part is 120 degree. So I will left it on you. Okay, 120 degree because it is already studied by you. Okay, here also we'll get the same output. Only the difference is every switch conducts for 120 degree. Okay, so I hope you understand it. Okay, the inverter two level output. Okay, there is a mathematical formulation also. I have not included right now, but I will tell you the mathematical formulation for this also. Okay, so for to find out the this harmonic component, the mathematical tool is the Fourier series. We use the Fourier series here to find out the harmonic component. Okay, so if we simulate the same system into any software, okay, if we simulate in MATLAB, we'll directly get the harmonic component there through the that FFT analysis tab. Okay, so I hope you understand the drawback of this two level inverter. Okay, and what we have to do in the multi-level. Okay, so to produce these pulses, okay, to produce these pulses, we have different techniques. Okay, that also we have studied. That we also repeat just for understanding. Okay, and then we go for the multi-level transfer. Okay, so I hope you understand. If any doubt, you can ask. Yes, you understand because this is the already studied part. Any doubt in this? Hello.
Understood, sir.
Okay. So if any doubt, you can ask me afterwards also. This is the already part we have studied. Okay. So for tomorrow, we'll see the different uh, PWM techniques, okay, and then we go for the multi-level. Okay. So for today, we'll stop here. Thank you. Thank you all.